Grand day to you guys, all of you, every last one of you, heirs of our Father's promise. Welcome to today's video. And today, we're going to be talking about very important things, which is like an ingredient um, in our life. And before we get to that, I hope that you guys, brothers and sisters, you've had a wonderful day, right? You've had a wonderful, wonderful, abundant day. A day of such that is that's like unchangeable, un, untangible, unchangeable and untangible before the will of our Father. Okay, excuse me for a second. I think there's an eye boogie in my eye. Not really sure, but it doesn't matter. Um, Thank you again for joining me, and I appreciate the love that you guys show to me, even when the enemy attacks and try to relentlessly, you know, diminish my works, which is not of me, but the will of my Father. As I sit here, I don't ask for nobody for money. I don't concern myself with those things because the truth of how we are to better ourselves without playing the economical game, right? This capitalist, you know, problem, the lack of power and influence that these people play. We're not here to speak about that because we're not going to be here talking much, no more than probably, hopefully, 40 minutes is the highest, but we're going to try to talk for at least 25 to 30 minutes, all right? So we're going to be in Psalms today, and we're going to speak about something very important. And one of it is the image, your Ellie's image. Let me actually rephrase this. The objective is Ellie's image rest in your faith, right? So stand loyal even in chaos. And why is that important? This is where you know when somebody has wisdom, discernment, knowledge, and understanding. Which wisdom and knowledge and understanding is the same thing, but discernment also is a variation of that, mix. But they all have its own specialty in what categorize these things. So when you deal with incompetency, right, you have to understand that truth is always the key. This is how when you know the devils is the devils. And mind you, I'm reading these chapters. I'm not the one that picked this out. This is exactly the chapters that I'm given. I read every day, I pray every day, and I walk in faith of truth. I don't walk in lies. I don't surround myself with people that go out there partying every single day, drinking with them, smoking with them, hooking up with people every day. I don't steal. Listen, I don't murder, obviously. I don't extort people. I don't do any of these things that the main system of this world wants you to do to contribute to the cycle of chaos that they have already printed down as our own lifestyle, as an expectation. I don't do none of those things. And I know what I'm doing right now is going to have a payoff, but I don't look forward for a payoff. I don't look forward for money. I don't look for redemption of anything. So I'm going to give you this. When you are attacked, the enemy only tries to attack you using your weakness. He will try to make you uncomfortable. He will try to get you to do anything that goes against your morals, just so they have a reason to talk about it. They will even sabotage you, set you up. And one thing that you learn is never doubt exactly what you face. Never doubt what you face. And what I mean by that is don't doubt yourself and don't doubt in the works of your Father. Because you have no idea. Maybe the reason why things are happening the way it's happening is because that's where your salvation is going to come through. Not in what they're doing, but because of what they're doing. Understand these things. It has to be very much understood. Things don't come out. Things. I learned this also myself. Things don't happen in life the way we always want it. We can, when something is not meant for you, if you truly believe in your Father, you're going to know that everything has a purpose and it has a time. You can apply what you want in life if it's not truly meant for you, even if you ask 1,000 times. Sometimes we can ask and it's given to us for the wrong reasons. Meaning what? It's a challenge. Meaning it's a time of tribulation. It's a test. It's a trial. To see if we're actually fit for that. It's a trial. Meaning, if you're royalty, you need to have patience. You need to have wisdom, understanding. You need to be competent. Not the number six. I'm not throwing the six. This is just how I'm counting. You need to have wisdom, patience. You need to have people seek sayers, meaning people that are going to be able to, accompany you, to advocate you, to give you words of what's going on in your surroundings. I believe the word for that is secretary or something like that, but there's another word. I can't think of it right now, but it's going to come to me. It always does. When you know who you are, it doesn't matter how people speak to you. You speak to them exactly how you will want. You speak to people how you will want to be spoken to. You don't speak to people through anger. You don't do anything that would be causing turmoil, problems. That's not Christ-like. It doesn't matter if somebody's stolen or something like that. You are and you should be the example rather than being the contradictory of the situation. Like I said, in many of my videos, you have situations where people can be arrogant and you have ignorance. When you understand yourself and you see your faults, you don't destroy yourself. You accept your faults and you make better of your faults. But remember, put your Father first before everything. Doesn't matter what anything good can look like. Good can sometimes can be bad because sometimes money that looks good is not always good money. That's why a lot of people get into situations they can't get out. Sometimes people think that is of, oh no, a gang, that's why. No, it's not just a gang. There's so many things out here that people get into that they cannot get out spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. That's why when you ask for discernment, understand that discernment is not just, oh, it goes off by philosophy. No, it's your heart's intention. Meaning, when you have a desire for truth, truth will be given unto you, especially in the time when there's confusion and contradiction. And that's why this word is important. Ellie's image rests in your faith, so stand loyal, even in chaos. Because why? This world is in disorder, is in calamity, is in chaos. This world is not residing in order. There's so many different ways on how people live their lives, and we call those things traditions, lineages. We're supposed to all worship the same the same creator. And we're supposed to be in the same religion. We're supposed to worship the same creator. But we are all doing different things. Yes, in the attributes of where you're from. It's understandable. But the rules change based on whose perspective and aspect. That's why there's so much denomination in Christianity. And people don't see that. People would rather believe people rather than the words, rather than the actual truth, rather than in the spirit, because they don't know that the spirit comes from our Father. Meaning, when Christ said what? Everything that he does, we are able to do 10 times and more. The reason why we're not able, a lot of us are not able to do that, is because of the lack of our trust and loyalty in exactly what we say that we have faith in. Every time when we do something, we do it for what? Prosperity, in the sense of our own desires. We don't use that for the sake of our Father's will. It doesn't mean just help people, because helping people, anybody can help anybody. But then you have people that help people for the sake of interest. And you have people that help other people for the sake of their intention of love. This world, especially in the United States, as I speak, has transformed genuinity, right? Intention as business, even relationships as business. That's why there's so many divorces out here, because of too much contradictions and fallacies that are being spoken out here to the public. And that is the reason why we are to speak of this. And we're going to be in Psalms. So grab your Bi and Bow, your biblioteca, so we can start this. Because if you have been watching my videos for a long time, you're going to know exactly where my mind is at and how and why I know what I know. And I give you guys clues as to how much I know, but a lot of times we're stubborn. That's why you always have to ask the Spirit first, the Holy Spirit, to guide you to an understanding. Because a lot of people talk. You can go on any channel, any YouTube channel, they will say the same thing that they read, but they don't know exactly how much it means in the spirit and in their mind. You cannot be confused when you contradict, when you don't contradict. Well, you cannot be confused if you do not contradict yourself. Meaning, what you learn, the only way for you to learn better is if it's already true. Because if you're learning something that's not true and you're learning much more in the actual fallacy of what it is and it's not true, you will be confused. That's why when you go even to a prophet, a minister, a preacher, an evangelist, a pastor, whatever the case is, right? You always got to ask the Holy Spirit. And the reason for that is because you don't know the type of spirit that person has. That's another reason. I don't care who it is. It could be my own mom. It could be my father. It could be my brother, my sister, whatever the case. I don't let nobody put their hands over my head at all. It could be my aunts, my uncles, my whoever. I do not let nobody put their hands on my head. When you know what you know, and the Holy Spirit has given you ordinance, and has given you visions, and has given you a reason to do what you're doing, that means there's something that's going to come. Even if people believe it or not, there's something that's going to happen. Prophecy is not just visions. Prophecy is the ability to speak and the Holy Spirit to speak through you. It doesn't mean you got to speak in tongue. Remember, speaking in tongue, that means there is a revelation that comes a lot of times by you speaking in tongue. It's not just to glorify and to what? Magnify our Father. Remember, when there is what? When there are people that speak in tongue, there's always what? Other people around. Especially there's always somebody to translate. Meaning our Father does not do anything if his glory is not shown. Meaning if his glory is not seen, it won't happen, meaning because it has no purpose. Money does not give any type of ruling in this, because money can be given to anybody. The thing is it supposed to be for you? Because you got two sides of the coin. You have good and bad. You have people that are given the money so they can do good, and then you have people that are given the money so they can do bad. You can't have the money and not do anything with the money at all. Because if you're going to have the money and you do bad, you're better off getting the money so you can do bad. But you cannot get the money and not do anything about it. Let alone have the knowledge to, what's it called, manage it. A lot of people want influence, they want power, they want money, they want all of these things, but it's not for them. It's not made for them. They want to control other people's affairs. They want to have a say so in your power, in your authority. Meaning what? They want to have your authority. No, no. When you stand on truth, you never hope for anything bad to happen to nobody at all. When you stand on truth, you await the Holy Spirit because you always have to pray for everything. You always have to ask the Holy Spirit for everything before you do it. And if you already did it, ask the Holy Spirit then, because at the end of the day, you never know. Sometimes our memory goes through different things in life because we live our life, because that's exactly what we're given. But that's also a test. That's a trial. That doesn't mean you're going to be destroyed for that. Sometimes we forget we're people, and our Father knows that. But it doesn't mean that manipulation is going to work if you're not meant to be manipulated. It doesn't mean that control is going to work if you're not meant to be controlled. I went through a mental, spiritual, also war in a very in a place that I have seen many people, and I can tell you right now, all of these things are not a joke. They're not a joke. That's the reason why I speak the way that I speak. Some people will believe you, some people will not. The truth is the truth regardless at the end of the day. If people are teaching these methods to other people in the church or not. Let's get into Psalms. We're going to be in chapter 126 and we're going to read it all the way to 129. And they're very short, so we're going to make it choppy. So I'm going to start. When Yahuwah removed us from captivity in Zion, it was like a dream. Afterwards we laughed and we praised Eli in glee before our unbelievers for all Elohim has done for us. So not only will you be rescued because you were loyal and you stood your ground and you spoke the truth if it was heard or not. You will be rewarded in the midst of your own enemies. And they're not going to like it. They're going to find every reason to try to bring your name down, but it will not work. Let's continue. Yahuwah has worked great wonders before us, so therefore we are extremely happy. Always be happy. Be glad of what you do or what you're given. Divert the path for us again, Eli, like a stream in the south, and remove us from all captivities. So, like a stream being branched out in different options, is created through what? A path that has been made for us, for it to overflow in a place that it needs to go through. So, you're being poured an abundance of what? Grace and favor that is pouring into another branch that is going to a different direction than what the enemy has dug for you. Let's continue. For those that dearly seek you in truth shall reap in joy of your favor and grace. And this is talking about Yahuwah. Let's continue. In the care of your seeds and its objective, in faith they shall produce, for you'll be prepared to reap and save them in your place of fortitude. You will have everything that you need. You will redirect it in abundance. People won't see it. But they won't, because they won't see it, it will be unbelievable for when they're going to see it. Because they can't see. You remember, know this, Yahuwah blinds your enemies. So when they can't see something coming, they're only looking through the eyes of what they see in their physical eyes. They don't see in the spirit. They don't see in the spirit. These eyes right here, they don't see in this. They only see in what they can touch, what they can see in through their physical eyes, what they can hear. That's all. Let's go to 127. I'm gonna start. Now, unless Elohim constructs the house, it'll rot until old. So the same goes for a city and its populace. None he does, none he does is none in vain. Meaning, if the governor of a city is rotten, if somebody is a terrible ruler or leader in a city or a nation, the people will be terrible as well because they're going to follow in his path. They're going to follow his laws, his rules, his conditions. They're going to be as rotten as them. If they do magic, if he does magic, they're going to do magic. If he does wrong, they're going to do wrong. If he exploit people, they're going to exploit people. Simple. Monkey see, monkey does. You're gonna be just like a zombie, just doing whatever that you do. I think that was the sound of a cow. I'm not really sure, but I don't care honestly. Let's go to the next. It's useless for you to rise up early in the day and digest worthless matters of distress. Know that you'll know that you'll one my apologies. Know that you'll one day find rest and joy will be of you. All that's going on. Well, all that's going on is vanity, and you will be given rest at a day and a time when everything will come together and it will make sense. Unexpectedly. You can expect everything, but things will never come the way that you expect. You'll just know unless you're given that specific premonition. That's it. Verse 3. So here, heirs of Elohim's promise, we are his image, and we bear his mark in us, for we are of his light. So when you're doing something that you know you should not be doing, remember that you're putting off your light. You are shaming his image because he created you in his image and none else. Let's continue. All that is unto a father will also be unto his kin. So a heritage. So if you're of your father's image, you will be given what he has ordained for you, not for what people have given you. Because you can have your physical or a heritage, but you can gain a heritage from your father. So your heritage from your father is what's going to provide your physical heritage. It's going to enhance it as well. Meaning what? When Yahuwah said that he can turn these stones into what? The lineage of who? Abraham. That means it can be literally your family can cut you off. They can say, no, we're not going to advocate for this person. We're not going to side with this person. But what will happen? We're not going to give you this house. We're not going to give you this car. We're not going to give you this opportunity, this position. What's going to happen? Yahuwah already gave you his heritage. Meaning nothing that they do nothing they do, they can have all that they have. But yours is going to be greater. And what do they normally do? What do family normally do? Oh, this is my family, so this belongs to me. They're going to try to come, steal, kill, and destroy. It's not everybody, but there are a lot of family members like that. I'm not gonna stand here and lie. There are family members in my family that are like that. That are like that. I speak only the truth. They might not be devils or demons, but as far as demonic activities that goes on around them, yes, that's true. If you have a whole bunch of land and it's supposed to be divided by house to house, maybe the land is as big as a city. Well, who knows? And it's supposed to be divided. What do you think is going to happen? Problems, confusion, distractions, chaos, just a whole bunch of stupidity. So Yahoo is not going to give everybody the order and the authority for all of those places to everyone. He's going to give it to one person because that one person needs to make sure that every household of the family's name is incorrect, is in check, is in order, and is in balance. That's why things are not working the way that people want it to work, and they're very eager. And just take that scenario and apply it to anything in your life, because that was just an example. All right, let's move on to the next. All that is unto all that is unto a father will also be unto his kin. So happy are they that show rapid progress in his light, and they are not ashamed, for they will command over their enemies at the gates of the living and the slumbers. So you have authority right now. You have authority right now. That's why you have light. That's why your enemies don't like it. That's why they do what they do. They use your weakness because you have light. That's why they try to dim you down. They try every tactic, but they don't even understand that you can see them like they're naked. You can see their bones, their veins, their brain, their heart. They don't understand that. So when you speak to them with kindness, with understanding, not with malice. Because you are the influence. They're not. Corrupt them. Give them the reason to start to speak the truth. To speak with love. To speak with power, but in a sense of righteousness. Not pride. Not pride, not ego. Eagerness, arrogance, ignorance, or malice. You influence others. Not let others influence you. I watch videos about stuff. Sometimes I laugh, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just like hearing stuff, and it might not relevate to nothing, but sometimes it encourages me. It doesn't make me hope for anything that they're saying could be true. Let's go to 128. For favor, mind you, I did not pick this. I did not pick this. This is for today. Favor. I'm sorry. There's a lot of chemicals in here. Burning my eyes a little bit. Whew. Turn on the AC. But I'm gonna get this done first. By the grace of Yahuwah. Favor is unto those that considers at least might, for they truly walk with him. Verse 2. For your laborious works, for your laborious works shall be given a reward, and it shall be satisfying unto you. So remember, everything that we're doing is supposed to be of Yahuwah's glory, not just of our selfishness. That's the reason why even the wine was not really alcohol, because in the alcohol it comes influence, and they tell us to not be of drunkenness. You get what I'm saying? Everything that we're doing, it should not be only of our own doing. Doesn't matter how old you are. You could be young. If you are a kid and your parents did not teach you that you everything that you do is not just for you, but it's to magnify your master, your king, your ruler, your majesty, his kingship. We're not doing it right. Loyalty means you're standing on exactly your business, your father's business. And what did Christ? Who could be a better example than Christ? He said, "I stand on my father's business." When Mary and Joseph, Mary and Joseph were looking for, when they were looking for him, why I say that? Why did I say it like that? When they were looking for him, he stood on his father's business, and he told them, "Why are you looking for me? You knew where I was doing. Why are you looking for me? You know what I was doing. You know what I'm doing. Why are you trying to distract me?" He already knew. They already knew. That's why they didn't get mad. When your enemy already know that you already know your purpose. They can't abuse exactly what they already pierced. They can try to tap your shoulder, but they know not to hurt you. They know not to. They dare not to because they know better. And I speak like this because this is what confidence and faith look like when it comes to speaking about the spirit and the truth. People think that they make decisions off of their own choice. No, you don't make decisions off of your own choice because if you did, you would have had your way a long time ago. It's not you. Understand that it's not you because if it was you, then what would be the meaning of our Father's purpose? Just like he did to Pharaoh. He even let Pharaoh, like you might think that he controlled Pharaoh's heart. No, it's because he softened Pharaoh's heart on purpose and hardened and allowed his heart to be hardened. Meaning he Pharaoh had an opportunity to change his heart. The Pharaoh did not. Let my people go, he was told. But he did not. The staff stood before him, standing for what? It's not hard. It's not a hard heart. It's not a heart. It's not the hardness of your mind or a hard shell that you're putting up or a shield. It's just the fact of what? The importance of our Father's will. It shows the glory. It shows the leadership. It shows the power. Because it was in that staff, that rod, that turned into a snake and swallowed his enemies up. The magician tried to copy, but it could not do the same thing. Not in that level. That's why your enemies know. Your demons, the devils, the fallen, they know not to tempt you in a certain manner. They will lose their life. If somebody's doing anything in the side of the spirit, they can do everything surrounding you. But the one thing they're not going to touch is your spirit, neither your mind, your body, whatever the case is. You will always be okay. That's why you're still alive every single day. They can try to mess with your mental, your mind, and it will not work. When you know your enemies, you know exactly who it is. You don't pray for their downfall, you pray for their betterment. Because when judgment's going to come, they ain't going to have nothing else to say. And they're not going to be like, oh, that person did this to me. No, that when your father is going to be like, they stood advocate for you when you didn't even believe in yourself. When you thought that you couldn't change, they prayed for you. When you thought that you could not be a better person, when you thought that the only thing that you could do because you've done too much wrong, that you cannot receive salvation, they prayed for you. They even had faith in you. They hoped that you could so that you can. And you continued in that path. You continue to irritate them. You continue to stagnate them, to stand before them. You continue to try to control them, manipulate them. This is how that works. Let's continue. Verse 3. Your house, this is going to be for the men and the women. Your house of which your wife dwells will be plentiful, for you will be fruitful, and you'll multiply with her, and your offspring shall stand before you at your tables with you together. You'll be a happy family. A family can get into disagreements because of your own opinions. That's understandable. But a family that cannot understand each other means that what? The integrity of their loyalty is not with Christ. Because if a family is in truth with Christ, there should not be any problems that should be legalized in such a manner that would be what? Stressful. This drought, calamity, chaos, death. None of these things should be happening within a family, amongst themselves. So a lot of times we worry about the world, but like I said, I gave you guys the example. Things are given power to the people that are that are actual true rulers and heirs of an actual throne, and not people that seek something that is not meant for them. You can have the heart, but your heart is going to lead you to the path of your own desires. Because you got to also understand, you have to be fearful, but then you should not be in fear. Meaning you should know the limitations of your kindness, of your actions. Right and wrong is not really a liability. It's a balance. Meaning right can be right all the time. And wrong can still be right. Meaning what? It's a balance that is meant to happen because sometimes we need to learn something that is wrong. Sometimes people do wrong, but then they could be right. Who knows? It could benefit somebody else and you wouldn't even know it. Right is right, and wrong can sometimes be right. Because sometimes you gotta go through your tribulations, your ups and downs, so you can learn to be better. That's why it's good and it's always great, and it's always great to be the best person that you could be, in a sense of your father's expectations. He expects us for the he already laid down the conditions for us to live in this world. Simple. We make it difficult. Always. Let's continue though. So whomsoever that acknowledges Yahuwah's might will be forever will be favored and highly honored. So your household will be in order, and you will be favored and honored in everyone in that household. It won't just be one person. Because if you look at yourself mightier than everyone, you're not what's the word? You're more incompetent. You're not humble. That's why you speak to people with humility. But at the same time, you got to stand exactly on what is right. You don't need to argue. I like to sometimes talk, but if I'm wrong about something, I'm going to let myself be wrong. If something doesn't sound right, I'm going to say, okay, I understand. And if it's not right, if it doesn't sound right, I'm going to pray on it so that if it is right, I'm not going to be looking stupid. And I don't know. I hit that high pitched voice. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to be looking stupid because we don't even know how we're offending our Father. Sometimes we can offend our Father by just thinking about it and we don't even know. That's why we ask for forgiveness all the time. For even the forgiveness that our parents make, our great parents make, sometimes you don't know what they've done. That might anger, that might anger our Creator. And he might just think about it. He was like, I remember that they did this around here. Let's see exactly if this person is going to do the same thing. Because the things that devils, demons, they do to your ancestors, those demons, devils, they're going to try to come and do the same thing to you. They're going to. Not that they might, no, they're going to. If they're not going to do it personally to start off with, they're going to send lower tiers of agents to come to try. And that don't work. Ooh, they're gonna bring the big guns out of the shelves, trying to make a quick rumble with you. Yes, indeed. That's what it means to stand on integrity. You're gonna be getting fights that you don't even want to fight people with. You have to still stand on exactly what you say, because everybody, you gotta remember, you are the reminder. You are the influence. People are looking at you. They're not looking at the people that are already lost. They're looking at you. They're watching you because you are shining. Because you are shining. They're not shining. You are shining. Not that they're not shining. They just got a whole bunch of smoke covering around them. Majority of the people are not even lost. It's just that they can't see. You can't have life and be in darkness. You just can't. It's impossible. It's either you're dead or you're alive. One or the other. And if you're dead, walking in the living, among the living, you are a devil. Because you no longer have a soul. You don't have a true spirit. You don't have a place to belong. You are a devil at that point. I'm not calling you as of our father's promise, Papa. Yahuwah forbid that any of you are. Let's continue.
Yahuwah will grace.
Us out will grace us out from within Zion, so that we shall see the beauty and the benefits of Jerusalem forever. And you will be given Jerusalem. You will be given peace.
Oh, excuse me. My apologies about.
That you will be given peace. Not only that, from there many generations will be present in all events, and peace, order shall be with them forever. Forever.
Forever.
There is a plentiful amount of time Israel has been afflicted. Many of my enemies, they've afflicted me from my from they've afflicted me, and they were also defeated. Those that plow dig their actions upon the ground. Yahuwah is righteous, and he has demolished the attachments of the wicked on us. As for those that hate Zion, they will all fall in the pit of which they dug for me. Just like grass upon the hills, they will wither away. So our Father doesn't. His intention is not always to kill people. It's to let people get old, lose their authority, lose their power, lose their minds, so that they can just eventually die off of their own choice because of how much things they've done in this world. You can. It's like this. You can work to become a millionaire by extorting people for so long that you can make a grand plan. Now let's just say that our father is like, oh nah, fam. Oh yeah, you want to do this? Okay, you're gonna make $1 million, but you're not gonna touch that $1 million. And the moment you get the bag by robbing a bank or something, by killing somebody or something, by doing witchcraft or something, the moment you do that, and then somebody ship a bag of $1 million to you, you catch a heart attack. You can't even touch the money. You can't even see the money, but you pass away. What then? Was it all worth it? Was it worth it? Like the question is, was it really worth it? That's the question. Was it worth it to do everything that you've done just to not even hold it in your own hands? Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Because now you're laying there watching other people enjoy something that you work hard for that you never touched. Was it worth it? Let's continue. It wouldn't matter the length of their growth. They'll limit their own progress even if they attempt it. Like I said, when you don't put yourself in scenarios to fight and a fight has been fought for you, confusion comes against your enemies and it corrodes their mind. They start to lose their temper. I told you this, when a demon, right? This is how you know when a demon is upset. When it starts to create a tantrum, when it cannot be calm. It will find anything to every reason to
show off.
And it will show off, and you will know. It could be through a person, it could be through a device, it could be through natural, obstacles of things in life. You will see it and you will witness it. You might not make sense of it at that moment, but understand it's happening. Some of them, they create earthquakes because, and it's not even on a big scale, it's just a surrounding earthquake. And yes, those things are very much possible. It's not just because of the shift of a tectonic plate and all of this stuff. No, it's not just because of that. If you're a true, not religious person, but a spiritual, understanding heir of your father's promise, you know the principalities, the thrones, the dominions, the powers. I've explained every meaning of those things to you guys. And all of it to put together a concept to a cause and effect. Meaning the command is given so that a cause can have an effect and the concept can create exactly what is in that reality. Meaning these devils, demons, fallens, they have control, mastery of these effects to a certain extent because they understand concepts. Doesn't make them stronger than you. Doesn't make them more powerful than you. They don't have authority over you. They don't. You have people behind you. That's why they're upset. Because they see something that they cannot have. That they once had a choice. They once had something to hold on to, but they no longer have. Because they gave it up for their desires. And they made a promise to harm others for them to follow in the same path. I will not. And that was my promise. And if I may die, I'd rather die. If I be broke, I'd rather be broke. If I have nothing and I am in lack, I'd rather be in lack and have nothing than to follow that same cycle over, over. In my family, men lose their minds. Women don't be having kids that much. I'm not going to be allowing this cycle to come to my kids. No. To my family. No. I will not allow it. I don't care who's bearer of whatever the situation. I will not allow it. I said that from the start, and I kept it. And that was my promise to my father. And I'm saying these things to you guys because I want you guys to understand that's how much your father cares about you. That he will uplift you and keep the promise that he also made unto you. And allow you and encourage you to keep your promise. Let's continue. It wouldn't matter the length of their growth. They'll limit their own progress even in their attempt, even if they attempt it. So it matters not by the mouth of the naysayers. For Elohim's favor will fortify all his people, for we praise him in the name of Elohim. Forever. Always. Doesn't matter the naysayers. Because who are they to him? He created them. Even the demons and the devils that they use, they have no power over you. So if they don't have no power over you, imagine him. Your frequency is radiating so much on a level where they can't even really stand you. They are infatuated by you, but they cannot stand you. And it makes them look crazy and stupid. Because why hate somebody that you cannot stand? Why hate and then you show love to the person you cannot stand? Doesn't make sense. What are you expecting from that person? What do you want from that person? Do you want that person to give you the keys to a place that they was given? A place to a sanctuary, a place to a castle, a place to a kingdom, a paradise? No, it's not meant for you. you would not get the job done. So why would I give you something that was not meant for you? If it was meant for you, it would have been given to you and none else. That's why it's important for the truth, folks. Brothers and sisters, it's very important. Because when you're walking out here, you will be tempted. Remember the words that I said before in my previous videos: Con- uh, conviction, temptation, and seduction. Seduction does not always mean sexual, it's also persuasion, infliction, confliction. Conviction is just a motion of the persuasion being told as evidence to a certain standard of what your perception. Temptation is the things that are presented to you through persuasion in a seductive way to lower your guards. When your guards is up, your shield is up, is not a joke. When you have a real reason and you tell people you have a real reason and they do not believe you, it's not a joke. Why do they not believe you? Because they don't believe in themselves. They believe in what they can see, what they can feel with their physical hands and their physical eyes. That's why a lot of people go to so many churches. They call so many prophets. They forgot that you're given the power to ask your Father for whatever a problem is, that you can see the problem. Or if you need something, you can get exactly what you need. That's why they rely on prophecies, because the lack, the abundance of in the spirit. Faith is not about somebody else's potential. Faith is your belief, your hope in your Father, in your Creator, our Elohim. So when you put Him last, you can get anything in this world. It doesn't matter if people do woo woo woo. It does not matter. But that does not mean you're serving Him truthfully. That's why. That's why influence, power, money, women will never, will never, not even fear. It will never, it will never control me. It will never have any power over me. And whatever is etc. or extra, it will never have any power over me, because fear, the same thing as death or anything else that comes over. Like I said, I would rather die to be than to be disloyal. A lot of people have lost their integrity because they cannot keep the standards of their hearts and of their heart posture. They went after the things that they knew that is not good for them, and they still did it. When you make a promise to follow Christ, it's not a game. It's not a game, because your body will testify against you when you die. When that judgment day is going to come, your body is going to testify against you. Your own spirit is going to testify against you. I don't want Yahuwah to say so many things that I've done wrong. I will want him to say so many good things that I've done right, more than wrong. Because if you have a whole list of a lot of things that you've done wrong, it's one thing where you're 50, 60, 70 years old and you've done so many wrong things. But then you got saved. Do you know how much of an embarrassment that's going to be in front of everybody? It doesn't matter. I'm going to say it right now. If you Do you know how much of an embarrassment that's going to be? You're like 70 years old. You get saved at the age of 80. because you wanted to be hard headed and you've done so many wrong things. I'm saying an embarrassment because it would be an embarrassment to me. That the older you get, the less wiser you get. That would be an embarrassment to me. But what can you teach me? I don't speak fallacies or lies. Everything I say out of my mouth is always enduring to the words of my Father. I don't care when people say whatever. Don't like me, whatever the case is. If you got a question or answer, put it in the comment section. Because I love interacting with all of you guys. Not just one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 people. With every last one of you. My channel increases every single weekday, whatever the case is. By the time that I get to the end of this month, I'm pretty sure 500 is. I'm gonna have 500 subscribers for a fact. And if it doesn't happen, I'm still happy and grateful for those that are watching the videos, that are actually learning from the videos and not just watching it. Because if you came here for my looks, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe my personality. I don't know. But I will say this: know exactly the right reason why you're doing things in life. Know that everything that you do is bigger than yourself. That's why I don't charge nobody. I don't ask nobody for money on here. I don't charge nobody. There's a lot of stuff that I do give you guys hints on. Even certain things that I do say physically out of my mouth on these videos that I could charge people for. That has nothing really to do with Christ. But I relevate it to Christ because that's the way for you guys to capture the visualization of something that could help you one day in your life. And it has nothing to do with finances because you can ask a whole bunch of people about finances and all they're going to do is talk about money. That's it. If you cannot have a conversation with somebody, if you can have a conversation with somebody and all they're doing is talking about physical matters of things that does not relevate to Christ and all they do is bring all of this money, this car, this, all of this, and there's no reason to continue talking to them like that. If prosperity is the only thing in their mind, conversations are not no longer required. Everything that we work for every day in our life, doesn't matter if it's at a job, if it's at a farm, if it's in a school, if it's going to the gym, if it's, it doesn't matter what it is in our life. It does not surround money. Because money is exactly, when they say money is what rules the world, who do you think is controlling the money and how do you think they're controlling it? They're creating situations for people to go and work so you can pay taxes for a house that you own. For a car that you own, you pay taxes. For a car that you own, you pay. You took $4,000 or $5,000 to buy a car so you can pay taxes for a car, for a house in your name. If that makes sense, you tell me. So to tell you that money is not what we're supposed to be really worried about in this world, it's really not. It's not to look good for anybody. It's to look good before our Father, our Creator, and everything else will come. So when we put money before everything, well, money is the expectations of our own predictions. It causes problems. It causes problems because this world and this governing world runs around money. That's why a lot of people cannot do anything because they lack in so much because they don't have money. But then they have the most wisdom. They have the most purest hearts in the world. They have a lot of gifts, but they can't go to certain places because of money. They can't do certain things because of money. If people have not realized it yet, money is the problem. It could be used as a tool to solve things, but when there's too much money going on around and everything and everybody is only thinking about money, what else are you gonna think about? If we have to pay money, right, for clean water, knowing that there are billions of people on this earth, what are we even living for? What are we gonna get charged next for air? You're gonna have to pay money to breathe. That's ridiculous. We all we all worked somewhere before, so that means you paying taxes for a car that you own that's in your name. If that's not a game, I don't know what is. That's what we call monopoly. There's literally a game made for that. It's called Monopoly. They tax you for a car in your name. Imagine a house. Imagine a business. Imagine your life, your own insurance. You pay taxes for your, yo. This is out of is ridiculous. That's why people convict you because they can only use money. That's why when people go on TV screens, when you see all of these celebrities that are enjoying their life, all they're presenting is things that they got with money. And you know how many people are starving out here in this world? Forget just Africa. It's not just even Africa. Somebody outside your neighborhood can be starving right now. Literally. And all we're worrying about is money. We fight about money. We kill about money. That's a dangerous tool. Our perception. Since the day that we were born, oh, you're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be this, and most of the doctors they supercharge people for things that are cheap that you can get. They will literally charge you a $5,000 bill on your receipt for things that is literally under $2,000. They were band-aids can be like $200. If you don't check, you can ask the doctors themselves for your receipt, just so you can see how much band-aids cost on a receipt. They will charge you $200 for a band-aid. The band-aid that you take whenever you get a cut on your arm and you have a splinter or you're bleeding a little bit that you put on your hand just to cover your wound. $200. If money is not the problem in this world, where else do greed come from? Greed. Where else does it come from? It doesn't come from, like, listen. In order for greed to even be greed, that means you have an abundance of something to make an exchange for what you find to be valuable. Greed comes from what? Desires. That's the truth. There's no other way to speak about it. When we speak about things that are irrelevant, it does not change who we are. That's why I come on this video every single day. Because truth is the main thing that exists in this world. Everything was made out of truth. Wasn't made in lies. Your existence is not a lie. Because if your existence was a lie, you wouldn't be alive. You would not be alive. You would be dead because you wouldn't exist if it was a lie. Just like the stars in the sky. Just like the sky is blue. If it was not real, if it was false, that means that everything that we know in life is false. It wouldn't exist. It will not exist. That's why people are out here doing everything. They say you got to do what you got to do when it's really the opposite. What we really need to do as a nation is work together rather than working individually. That's the reason why there's so much corruption, because everybody is always exploiting somebody so they can look better, better than somebody. It's a competition. What are we competing for? We all live on the same earth. We all live on the same earth. What are we competing for? Where is the competition? You worship the same creator, but you're competing against somebody with all the same things that you have that they have. That's where the problem comes from. That's why money exists, so that these complications can keep going as a cycle, and they can keep rotating and rotating as a cycle. Understand that bondage is not exactly what people think bondage is.